So this is the Stevenson ballroom at Skamania Lodge. It is actually divided into 3 sections, so this is one of the 3. This is section A. Behind that air wall there is section B, and beyond it is section C. All 3 sections together allow for a max capacity of 400 guests. When you're just doing one section at a time, you can do 70 to 80 guests. But if you want to have a dance floor, then it's about 60 guests seated, and you can have the services of a DJ. In terms of power, it's well equipped. You can see here, there's power outlets. They're pretty much along every wall. You can see here, as well as just behind me, which is where you come through. So under the tables, there's power all along the wall. As long as I'll walk over to this other side quickly, just to show you. And this Stevenson ballroom, there's one right there, is in the conference area of Skamania Lodge. So it's a long hallway with a bunch of different event spaces, so there you go. So if you go towards the conference area of Skamania Lodge, that's where you'll find this, as well as other indoor event spaces. So more outlets, so you can see all along. And generally, for example, in this room, for a wedding, if they're having a ceremony, they would be facing the fireplace. And then if they have a reception in here, the DJ really can be set up anywhere. So even if you set up along the wall, you can run power from one of the side walls. So this is the Cascade Locks ballroom at Skamania Lodge. It is just further down the hall from the Stevenson ballroom area. This room is actually has its air wall open at the moment, but so it's actually divided into A and B, but the entire space, as you see it now, can have a max capacity of about 200 people. The maximum occupancy sign behind me says 150, but the venue said about 200, so let's say somewhere in between there. You can see, like the other room, it's got the option of outlets all along pretty much every wall. Just take you along very quickly. So there. And as with the other room, it just really depends on the client as to where a DJ would be set up for the venue. There's one in that corner, here next to the chairs, so really along every wall. But they did say that, you know, sometimes maybe they would have DJ set up against the wall, the dance floor in front, but really it's just kind of up to the client and us, depending on if they want a recommendation as to what works. But you can see the options are unlimited in terms of plugging in with outlets. And again, it's just your general sort of room, rectangular, almost square. They do have an in-house system that they can rent to clients if they wanted to do like a plug-in or that sort of thing. And they have their own AV company that works with them. So they said that if clients wanted us to hook up into their system for any reason, I don't know, then their AV people would be on hand to help with whatever needed, and I believe they're called 5-star. But generally, I believe we would bring our own equipment and not really work with their in-house system, because it's something that comes at an additional charge for clients. So I don't think that it would necessarily be any cheaper if clients wanted to opt for that versus doing something directly with us. Just as a quick note, so this is the conference hallway where you will see Stevenson is just in front of us to the left, and the Cascade Locks rooms are just right there. But you can see there's an outlet right there, and just showing you this hallway, or what they call kind of an atrium area, because sometimes depending on events and how they're set up, they can do like a little cocktail hour out here. So just good to know. There's the event space here. And so in terms of outlets, I showed you that one against the wall. There's this one here in the corner. And then as well as, it looks like, again, they're pretty much against every wall. So to the left of the screen by that bench, it looks like there's one under the bench to the left of the door, as well as a bunch under these tables just here along this wall. So several options in terms of setup if we need to have a speaker out here or anything for a small cocktail hour or anything that might be going on in between events and that sort of thing. So again, an event space at Skamania Lodge. This is a little further down the conference hall. So this is the Adams room, which is a smaller event space. For a wedding, they can do about 50 people in this space, and that's with a dance floor. Usually DJ would maybe be set up towards the back where you see those curtains. So DJ may be in the corner where you see the podium, or on the other side, and then a dance floor in front of that curtain area, and then rounds in the rest of the room, and maybe a head table in this corner. In terms of power outage, like all the other rooms, they're against pretty much every wall. And if I didn't already say it, the room name is Adams, and there is a room next door to the right, which is called Hood, and it has the same capacity and size and setup. So just walking you around the room, you can see that there's plenty of power outlets. We'll look behind this podium really quickly. Yep, plenty of power there. Show you the room from this angle. And then power there as well as back here. So in this little corner, as well as under the table, there it is, right there, and let's see, along this wall, and also along this wall as well. So plenty of options. So again, at Skamania Lodge, this is a event space that is downstairs from the conference area in the lodge. Right now they are redoing the floor, so I can't access it from the stairs inside, but there's stairs outside. I've just come to the end of the hall and come downstairs, but there's also stairs and an elevator inside as well. But basically, this indoor space that you see right here is called Glacier Hall, and it can have a max capacity of 60 people, and attached to it is what they call Boulder Terrace, which is this outdoor area right here. And as I said, it's a max capacity of 60, so for a smaller event. In terms of power outage, you can see just right now in the middle of the screen, about middle of the screen to the right of the door, there is power outlets there, as well as inside. I can't go in there, but my understanding is that the DJ is usually set up just around the corner of this window in a little alcove, and there's plenty of power there, and that the dance floor would usually kind of be in the middle of that space. But just to give you an idea, that is Glacier and Boulder Terrace. So, Glacier Hall and Boulder Terrace. This is the Greenside Grill outdoors at Skamania Lodge. Just quickly showing you the space, because sometimes they'll have a little breakout event here or that sort of thing, or cocktail hour. It could be whatever, but it's over by the golfing area. It's beyond the lodge as well as the parking lot. In terms of hookups for a speaker, that sort of thing. There is, I saw it earlier. Oh yeah, there it is. So you have, just to the right of the trash bin, you can see it's blended in with the wall. There's a hookup for power there. And you can see out this way, just to give you an idea. But, so just a small space that sometimes they have like a little outdoor thing here going on.
Alright, so this is Skamania Lodge, the ceremony location. What do you actually call this location again? The Amphitheater, yes, okay. So this is the Amphitheater. Usually the bride and groom will walk down this path here. They do grow out the grass, so that way they're hidden from sight. But right around where that backhoe is in the back is roughly where people, where they walk down the aisle to, and where we start playing music once the couple comes in. And then this is where the ceremony is. Generally the DJ is going to set up over in this location here where these two ladies are. You'll also see the power boxes right behind them. It's that gray box there to the left of them. So that's usually where we'll set up, and then we'll aim our speakers forward. Obviously chairs are set up right around here. And you definitely need a longer ceremony song because the processional is pretty long at this venue site. Anyway, that is the Amphitheater at Skamania Lodge. Alright, so you are looking at what is now the Skamania Lodge Pavilion. And there we are. So this thing can hold 150 people. They said seated. They definitely can do more, but they probably aren't going to do more. You can see these really cool cool chandeliers that hang from the top. There's a really great view over here. And the ceremony location is generally way over there. And then, but some people do have some ceremonies here. The DJ, I'll show you where they normally set up, but they can set up at the end here. But down at the end, right down there, is where they set up. In terms of power, they'll run power generally for you, the AV company. But when you're set up over here, there is an outlet down there. You can see it there, and there's one right there. There is a small in-house system too that we may be able to plug our mics into for that use only. I will find out specific for that. But that way you're aware. You can see the speakers, there's about 4 on each side. And it's right next to the actual hotel. So sound is off at 10 o'clock. They're pretty strict with it here, but it's just so you are aware and you go into this and you're not going in blind. And so occasionally, they have the DJ set up all different areas, but occasionally they'll set it up right at the end where those two ladies are there. So that is Skamania Lodge Pavilion, and we'll go check out a couple other areas. When you're at Skamania, this is the setup I recommend in this pavilion, because these outlets on the ground, you'll see them when you go to set up, they don't work. They originally did, but not anymore. So it does make it a little more difficult. So I wouldn't suggest setting up there because there's no power outlets down there. Sometimes customers think that we can set up over here, but it doesn't really work out too well. So set up over here, one speaker over there. Try to convince the customers to have their dance floor in the center. And you can put a sub underneath, just right here. It's really nice and simple. Speaker right there. And then if you notice, I run the cords along the wall down here. So I got an XLR running across and a power cord, and we'll go right into here. You can see, sorry. So here's the actual outlet that works. You're gonna run it underneath that mat around here, and I'd use both of them. The one goes way down to the speaker, and the other one goes into my system here. So I think that should work. And the nice thing is you'll get coverage on both sides. You'll get one for this side of the room and one for the other for toasts and whatnot and background music. And then you'll also can move it. You can aim that one towards the dance floor for dinner, and then that one just rotate in towards the dance floor for dinner. And then the people on the outside can dance and be able to socialize and be able to talk and not have the speaker blasting in their ear. So that's my tip for Skamania Lodge.